Hi guys, hi, how's it going? How y'all doing today? Hopefully today finds you well. Today I am doing my year of beauty empties here on my channel, and that is something that I do every single year. I'm always super excited to do this video because it really showcases for you just about how much in a normal everyday routine somebody can get done from beauty and makeup. I do combine my makeup empties as well as my everything else, beauty, hair care, skincare, tools, fragrance, all the things, even some like fragrance for the home is concerned, like candles and stuff like that. I do combine that all into this video just because it's easier for me to do, and because I really don't have a whole lot of makeup empties year over year, so I don't think it quantifies as another video, but I do chat a lot so about the products that I'm talking to you about. And this year I think I'm going to do it different. I do have my like pictures of the things, which is usually all I show you, but I still have all of my things with me as you guys saw in the thumbnail. So I think I'm going to pull items out and talk to you about those items as well. I haven't thrown it all away yet, which I need to, which is why I'm doing this video, because I cannot wait to actually throw all this stuff in recycle and trash. That said, I hope that sounds like something you're interested in watching. For those of you new here, hi, my name is Donna, and I'm a lover of all things high-end, colorful beauty and self-care. And this that we're doing here, this is my self-care. I enjoy coming out here, talking to you about all the things coming into my collection, leaving my collection, giving you my 2 cents on those products, and reviewing things, project planning, just general makeup chit-chat. That is the kind of channel I am. I am very chatty. My videos tend to go long, so if that's what you're here for, I think that you'll find that you enjoy being here as much as I'll enjoy having you here, and kind of a kick in the pants to hang out with, and I hope that you'll want to subscribe before you go. That said, let's roll into this video where we're going through every single makeup empty and beauty empty that I had for the year 2025. I like to think that maybe I used just a smidge bit more of the products than what I have in this bin here, but I do think that this last year was a relatively difficult year for me. I went through, like, I got laid off from my job almost a year ago to date, and a job which I was in the beauty industry. I worked at Ulta Beauty as a field leader, and it was exciting and fun and all the things, and I got to be in the beauty space all the time, which was something that I loved, kind of a dream job, honestly. But I was laid off from it, and then went through, like, I don't know, probably 5 months of I don't care, I don't want to do anything, I'm just here looking for a job and it's not working. And you know, I went through a thing. So that said, I do think that this year has been really light in terms of usage for me, for all the things, not just makeup things, but all the things. So this that I've got going on with my hair, look, my friend Andy got bangs, and now I think I want bangs, but this is driving me nuts. So if I got bangs, they'd have to be short bangs, and I don't know that I'm ready for short bangs. So there's that. I just don't know. I just don't think bangs is probably for me. Anyways, so you might come back to me just flipping this hair around and being irritating with my hair today. I'm so sorry. That's not typically how it is. But anyways, I didn't go through quite as much as I do in the normal everyday year. I think it's roughly between makeup empties and beauty empties, probably about $1,000, maybe even $2,000 less than what I typically go through in a year in makeup and beauty empties, and I'm okay with that. The makeup empties specifically are, I would say, about 10 makeup empties less than what I did last year, and you know, so many more less than the goal that I had in mind for this year, but that's got to be okay. So I am going to start with just showing you the picture that I created for the makeup empties and the beauty empties that I had. So in no particular order, except for that this is the order that I put my little pictures into, let's talk about some hair care. So in this picture, you will see I have 4 shampoo and conditioner products, and then I have also got 4 styling products. I think the big mammer jammer for this, because my hair care total was $306, was this guy here. This is a Bumble and Bumble Thickening Volume Shampoo, and I actually have used this multiple times on my own, but I also specifically bought it for my daughter who has really stringy, strawberry blonde, thin hair. So I wanted her to use it mostly for washing her hair to see how it did with making her hair look, or at least have the appearance of being more voluminous than it is, because, you know, she's kind of self-conscious about it. I think that this is a wonderful shampoo, but this shampoo alone is $105 for this liter bottle size. And while it lasts a long time, because it lasted almost a whole year for her, I don't know that I think it's worth $105 on a shampoo. Yes, I do think that it helped her hair feel voluminous, but I also think, or appear voluminous, but I also think that there's got to be an option out there that is less expensive that can work in the same way as that does. I just need to find it. Now, because I used to work at Ulta Beauty, I got really, and in the services department specifically, I got really heavily influenced by all of the, you know, education that we were receiving for hair care, which is why a lot of the hair care in my empties is high-end hair care. But this year I'll be weeding out the rest of the shampoos and conditioners that I have in backstock, because I have a ton of them, because I worked for Ulta for 6 years. So I have a lot of gratis that I'm still working through. As soon as I need to start purchasing some, I will be purchasing, more than likely, specifically for her and my son and, you know, my husband, who don't have color treated hair, something a little bit more affordable that does the same things that we want them to do. In addition to that shampoo, she also finished up the Way Fine Hair shampoo. I love Way. I think Way is a great brand. This definitely smelled a whole lot better, in my humble opinion, than the Bumble and Bumble Thickening did. Not that it smells horrible, but it did smell very floral. This is just a 10-ounce size, but this guy also is really expensive, right at $32. And then the other 2 that I have at $36 a piece are the Redken ABC. This is what I use in my hair. And these are the only 2 that I had all year. So my daughter had those 2. I had these 2. Because my hair is color treated as it is, I only wash my hair probably 3 times a month, once every 7 to 10 days. And I know that seems nasty, but it's not as nasty as it seems, just speaking it. I remember balking at it when I was first told that with my color treated hair, that was probably where I was going to have to get to in order to make the color last. And you guys have seen it. The color in my hair lasts forever. And it's because I'm washing my hair in ice cold water once every 7 to 10 days. And I never use hot tools on it. That's what will keep your color from fading. But these are the shampoos shampoo and conditioner that I use on my hair, and it is the Acidic Bonding Concentrate shampoo and conditioner. I've talked about it multiple times on my channel. I do think that those are small but mighty. It doesn't take a whole lot of them, and again, those are the only 2 that I emptied last year because I just used so little of it and I wash my hair so infrequently. For hair stylers, I did have 2 hair masks. One is an Amika Soul Food Nourishing Mask that was actually quite nice. Really gave a lot of nourishment and moisture to the hair. Really felt like it did a lot to make my hair and my daughter's hair, honestly, feel less stringy, especially during the summertime when we're in the water a lot, maybe in the pool a lot. And as much as I put my hair up, there's still those baby hairs that feel a little crunchy at the end of the day when you're in the water a lot. And then I have this one, which is a Style Dry hair mask. It's in the scent watermelon. It really did smell good. This is for all hair types. It's got coconut oil and provitamin B5 in it. Again, just a nourishing hair mask. My daughter used this one mostly on her hair. I don't think I used this one at all, but it did smell really good. And I do feel like, though, this one was maybe a little bit more heavy than the Amika one was, because I remember specifically thinking that my daughter's hair looked a little bit oily almost immediately after use with this product. So I think it just laid in her hair just slightly heavier than the Amika one did. And then I also have two like dry shampoo slash texturizing sprays. Because I only wash my hair once a week or so, I use a lot of dry shampoo. I'm really actually shocked that I only have like kind of two of these kind of items in here. This one is the Bumble and Bumble Thickening Dry Spun Texture Spray. It's not my favorite texture spray, but it is a good texture spray in that it helps my hair like just really be texturized, but it also has a little bit of that like dry shampoo effect to it. I felt like it gave volume and it gave the appearance and the feel of clean hair with the lift and the volume and all the things. It does say that it lasts all day. I felt like my hair was falling probably 3 hours after having it in. So it's not my favorite texture spray, but it is a good texture spray in the moment. One thing that I love about it is even if I feel like my hair is falling with it, I can just run my hands back through my hair and just kind of crunch it up, and it revitalizes it. So would I repurchase this? No, because I am really a fan of the IGK brand, so I would repurchase that one before I'd repurchase this. But I also really like the spray wax from Rakuten, and that's about the same price point. This guy here is a $37 item. And then I have this Dry Bar Detox Dry Shampoo. I really did like this. I felt like this lasted really well for it being such a small size, because this is a travel size version. It did a lot with a little. Unlike most dry shampoos that I've used in the past, not most, but a lot of dry shampoos that I've used in the past. A lot of dry shampoos give your hair like this clean feeling, but your scalp kind of this gritty, icky feeling, you know? That one doesn't do it. I felt like it helped to also clean my scalp as well as keep my hair feeling fresh, and it smelled so good. So would I repurchase it? Maybe. I do like it, but again, I'm a really big fan of the IGK brand, so I'd purchase that before I would purchase this one again. And this little tiny size is $16. So it lasted a long time, but I don't know that I'd repurchase it. So for hair care, you can see 4 shampoos and conditioners, 4 styling products, and the grand total for all of that was $306, but that was $105 of that. So the next one I have is home fragrance, and I always stick home fragrance in here because it is, in my humble opinion, it is something that falls into the beauty category because it is a fragrance and it keeps your joy from being in your home alive. I'm not going to pull out the wallflowers to talk to you about the wallflowers. I mean, they're all like the same. I can't really show you anything different than those little containers. I will talk about them. We can do that first. You can see that I had 8 wallflowers in this section, and I had 2 3-wick candles. The grand total for this section is $113.50. The 3-wick candles I think are $24.95 a piece, and then the wallflowers I think are $8.95 a piece if I remember correctly. I just have the totals for each. So I did have 8 wallflowers that were in here. 2 of them were unmarked. Did you guys see me with my hair? Yeah, that's gotta go. That didn't last long. 2 of them were unmarked because I think that they came in a 2-pack, and when they come in a 2-pack, you get them unmarked. But I do believe that they were amber woods. I cannot remember the exact like scent profile of the amber woods. I guess I could if I looked it up, but they were really nice. I liked them a lot. I do think that they worked really well in like this room here. Not super fresh, but not super floral. Had that nice like earthy scent profile to them without being muddy or mushroomy, like I like to say. I really did like those ones in both the locations that I put them. Now I put one in this room, and I'll put one downstairs in the downstairs bathroom. I guess there's one in my upstairs bathroom as well. So there's 3 different places that I put them. I would use the amberwoods in any of those locations. I do have one that isn't marked that I don't know what it was, and I can't like figure it out from the profile. I do have cranberry woods, prickly pear, caramel pumpkin, marshmallow fireside, and vanilla woods. I liked the vanilla woods, if I remember correctly. I liked the marshmallow fireside, but it was so super sweet that I wouldn't suggest it for small spaces. I like the caramel pumpkin, but again, super sweet. I wouldn't suggest it for small spaces. The prickly pear was actually quite nice. I really did like that one. The cranberry woods, I wasn't a huge fan of, to be honest, but I would probably repurchase it because it wasn't that it didn't smell good. It just had this weird, I guess, secondary scent to it, like mid-note to it, that it didn't really like. But as soon as that mid-note, like as soon as it got like halfway down the bottle, I couldn't really smell that mid-note anymore. So I really did like its top notes and its bottom notes for sure. I would probably repurchase that. I think of the ones that I just mentioned, I probably would not replace, I don't know, I think I'd probably replace any of them. And then I also had 2 3-wick candles that I used as well. This one is the Waikiki Beach coconut one, and this one I think smelled a little bit too floral for me. I wasn't a huge fan. I love the hot pink component of this guy, but it says the notes on this are tropical white coconut, saltwater breezes, sun bleached woods, and with essential oils, of course. I don't know why, but this smelled so floral to me. And then it didn't burn all the way down. I think that you guys can see like the end notes here. I can usually get my 3-wick candles much, much lower in the component than this one got before it just started putting itself out. So I probably would not replace this one. This one was Summer Boardwalk, and it had notes of caramel glazed popcorn, warm taffy apple sweet, salty sweet cream. And this one smelled so good. This one smelled amazing. I didn't love the component, honestly. It was a very boring component in terms of the different kinds of components that you could get for your 3-wick candles from Bath & Body Works, but this one smells so good and I would definitely replace it. I might take the sticker off this one and the wax out of this one and keep the component because I really did like the component. What I will use with it, who knows, but I am a junk collector apparently. So anyways, home fragrance, the total was $113.50. So I have some body stuff in here as well. Let me gather the body stuff. I just want to preface all this too, you guys, with I went over all of these things in my empties every single month or every single quarter. So I'll link my empties videos on here too. So if you want more in-depth information on these guys, I definitely have that. I'm going to start body with the hand soaps. I'm not going to repeat myself 100 times. You guys know Bath & Body Works foaming hand soaps are my favorite. I love them so much because they're the only like scented soap that is kind enough to my really dry, sensitive skin that I can wash my hands 18 times a day and not really get cracked and bloody from washing my hands 18 times a day. However, I've had years where I've had so many more of these, so I know I didn't spend a whole lot of time washing my hands. That said, we have 4 different sinks that these are on these days in this house. So all 3 bathrooms and then the kitchen, of course, have these hand soaps in them. So like I am still washing my hands multiple times a day, just not emptying out as much of these as I would like to. So I did have 9 of the Bath & Body Works hand soap. These are $7.95 a piece or $8.95 a piece, depending on the kind that they are. I will just tell you, I had so many of them, but some of this was a least favorite. This is the sweet sandalwood. I probably wouldn't purchase this again. This has notes of creamy sandalwood, sweet berries, and cozy cashmere. I just felt like it smelled too much like we're in the forest. So I probably wouldn't purchase that one again. And to be honest, I did not love this one either. It's apple crisp, and it has notes of caramelized apple, cinnamon crumble, and sugared oats. I don't know what it was about this one, except for that it smelled too much like soap, in my humble opinion, and not enough like what it was supposed to smell like. I definitely didn't get a strawberry or an apple scent from that. The rest of them were just kind of hit and miss. Like, I really liked most of them. Peach Bellini is a standard favorite for me. Pumpkin Cupcake is always great, but the two that really stood out to me this year were these two here. Coffee and Whiskey, favorite hands down. I have been on the Bath & Body Works website 500 times since purchasing this one Coffee and Whiskey, and can't find Coffee and Whiskey. So I hope that it comes out again in the fall. If you guys know where I can pick up some Coffee and Whiskey, I would certainly be ever so grateful to get my hands on it again. And when I got done with this one, I went back to the stores in my area looking for one, and ended up picking up this one, which is Sweet Whiskey. So the notes in Coffee and Whiskey: bold Irish whiskey, splash of vanilla, and hint of coffee, and it smells delightful. This one, Sweet Whiskey, has golden amber, vanilla infused whiskey, and sweet red berries. I feel like it's not necessarily the same. It's not necessarily the same. It does have a little bit more of like a boozy scent profile to it. I think that comes from the berries, if I'm honest with you. So while I don't like it as much as this one, I think that they really did themselves a solid by incorporating like whiskey scent profiles into their soaps, because it makes it lean a little bit more masculine, because you all know we're dragging our husbands into that Bath & Body Works store and spending hours in there going through all the scents, and our husbands don't want to be in there with us. But the love of my life loved those scents as well. I would repurchase those and those only, especially the Coffee and Whiskey one. If that was the only one that I could get my hands on, then I would be perfectly happy with that. I did have 2 bath soaps in here. One being this guy here by Native. This is coconut and vanilla Native body wash, and my daughter got this, I think, in an Ipsy or something like that. It was crazy sauce to me that it came in that way, but it was really nice. Really very nourishing. I felt like it left my skin. I tried it one time. She used the rest of it, but I felt like it left my skin feeling really moisturized and nourished, and not just in the moment, but for a while. And then I also have this coconut frosting 3-in-1 by Philosophy. So this is a shampoo, a shower gel, and a bubble bath. And for the most part, my daughter used this because I could trust that she wasn't going to blow through $105 shampoo for bubble bath if I purchased this for her. So she used this, but God, this smells so good. This smells so good. I used it in a couple of bubble baths for myself because it was just wonderful. I wouldn't ever use this as a shampoo. I don't know either that I'd use it as a body soap, but it was a good bubble bath product. I went through 3 Tree Hut Shea Sugar scrubs this last year. I think this is maybe middle of the road. I think I've gone through like 5 or 6 of these a year for the last several years, and this year I only had 3. Did that mean I showered less? Maybe. I spent 6 months out of the year pretty freaking depressed, so there's that. But I was really actually surprised at this lemon blueberry one, because I actually quite liked it a lot. It kind of smelled like a Pop-Tart in my humble opinion, but I really liked it a lot. Cotton candy is a favorite for me. Rainbow sherbet is really, really nice. And those are, you can usually get those at Ulta for like buy one, get one, or, 20% off very, very often. So they're like $10 a piece, but you can get them for like $7.99 at times. I had one shower or one moisturizing shave oil. I used to use shave creams and stuff like that. I switched to the Tree Hut shave oil not that long ago, honestly. I think it was maybe a year and a half ago. It doesn't take very much for you to have enough to shave your legs and the body parts that you need to shave. And these last me, usually I can go through 1.5 a year. It doesn't really take that much. But I am also not a person who needs to shave a whole lot. My natural body hair is really blonde, so I don't need to shave a whole lot as far as my legs go, or my armpits for that matter. So 1.5 of those is pretty typical for me here. So it doesn't surprise me that I only went through one. I do have 2 sunscreens, one of which was emptied in December, so I don't really 100% understand that. But these are both copper tone. One is copper tone Sport 70, one is copper tone Sport 100. My daughter, as I said, is a redhead. She's very, very pale, and she needs a really high top tier SPF in order to not fry. So we get pretty high up there SPFs. These are the SPFs that I use in a pinch in the moment. I usually will slather myself with something other than that for, like, I have a Kula facial one. Like, this is all body and it's all spray, and you lose a lot of this kind of product because you're spraying it on yourself. But these 2 actually lasted quite a long time. I was actually pretty surprised because I've had spray SPFs in the past that we used one time at the beach, and that was it. And not because we were applying and reapplying and reapplying, but because there just wasn't a whole lot in the aerosol container. But those ones were amazing. And then last but not least, for body care, I just put in the empty component for my Fenty, the butter drop, the one that smells like cinnamon butter. I will replace this. I have the actual component piece of it for the refills. I will be replacing this as soon as I'm done with some more of my body creams. I have so many body butters that I can't feasibly look at this one and use this one before I'm using any more of those. So it will get replaced. It's just not getting replaced right now. This is quite possibly my favorite body butter of all time. It just felt so good. It smelled so good, and I smelled so good while I was using it. If you're not new around here, you know that my favorite fragrance profile for my body, myself, is gourmand. I want to smell like a snack, and that made me smell like a snack. So the total for body care was $230.24 for all of those products. There was a whole lot of products in there though, so I'm not surprised by that. I also like to add in oral health into this because oral health is super important, and this year specifically I've been going through a lot of oral health issues. I take care of my teeth. I brush my teeth twice a day. I floss. I have water pick, all the things. I use really nice toothpaste. I don't know that there's a difference between my $15 toothpaste versus a $9 toothpaste versus a $4 toothpaste, but I try and buy like really top tier toothpaste to take care of my teeth better, just because genetically I have crap teeth. Genetically, it's the worst. My grandmother, I think, lost all of her teeth by the time she was 14 years old and had dentures. My mom has had every tooth in her mouth worked on and has had, stuff that had to be done. My dad, same. Like, not the best teeth. Like, genetically, I'm just predisposed to ickiness. And I have, 6 kids. I've been pregnant 8 times, and every time you're pregnant, it sucks a little bit more of the calcium from your bones and your teeth. So there's that. I just have really bad teeth. So oral care is really important in my humble opinion. So I like to add oral care in here too. I'm a little sad and almost embarrassed to say that I only have these 2 mouthwashes as empties this year. But if I remember correctly, again, I went through 6 months of being depressed, hardly ever showered, maybe didn't brush my teeth as much as I should have, which is disgusting. I know, it's just so gross. But also, I was in that spot. I didn't know what to do with it in that moment. But these 2 were in my drawer that I used to take with me for traveling, and one was in my travel bag. They're just 2 flim-flam traveling makeup or traveling mouthwashes that I think I picked up in a hotel at some point in time. I used to pick them up in hotels and take them with me, and that's what I would use in my travel bag instead of toting around my big mouthwash with me. I am certain that I had at least 2 more of these that were in my empties at one point in time. I don't know what happened to them. As far as these kind of things go, for the rest of everything that you guys have just saw, I do put in their total retail value as the value of my empties. For these kind of things where I can't like figure out a retail value for them, they're just $2. $2, $2, $2. For makeup items, it might vary depending on what kind of makeup item it is and what kind of sample it is, but these two just calculated at $2 a piece in my oral care empties. And then I have one toothpaste. This is the Moon Platinum Advanced Whitening Fluoride Premium Freshening Anti-Cavity Toothpaste in Platinum Mint. This is a wonderful toothpaste. I love this toothpaste so much. Right now, I am currently blowing through one that I picked up, I think, on my birthday last year, or I don't know. Moon came out with a buttercream frosting one that I had to have. I think I picked it up in my first round of points purchases from Ulta last year in my no buy year, and it's actually not awesome. I don't like it a lot. I'm actually blowing through it a lot quicker, and I think it's because it's a little bit more thin than this toothpaste is. This toothpaste I feel like really does something because it's really thick. It took me a long time to get through it. Like it took me almost a year to get through this tube. 4.2 ounces, and I know I was working on it when I purchased the buttercream frosting, but had been working on it for a good 6 months when I purchased the buttercream frosting. I know I opened the buttercream frosting, I believe, in September. I think this was an empty in September. So it took me almost a year to go through this toothpaste. I love Moon toothpaste. I love this one, and there's one that comes in a black package too, really good. I feel like it just feels differently in my mouth. Like I feel like my teeth are clean. I feel like they're getting, you know, whiter. Maybe they're, you know, they're not great teeth. So but they're in my head. That's all that matters to me. That is a really good toothpaste. I would repurchase that one for sure. I'm currently using a medicated one that my dentist gave me, and I am currently using a medicated mouthwash that my dentist gave me as well. So the mouthwash that I was working on throughout the year with these, that is giant. It's one of the I think they're called TheraBlend or something like that. It's huge. That mouthwash. Who knows if I'll have an empty mouthwash this year as well. We'll see. For oral health, that is it. That is all I had. And I have the total retail value of those things as $18.99. Again, these ring in at $2 a piece. So this, you know, was $14.99. I did have an other category because I didn't really have anywhere to put these things. I always have another category. For starters, in my other category, I have some tools here. So I have just one sponge. I usually am a person who will use a sponge until it is cracked and there are like holes in it, or if it's really severely stained. This is the only one this year that has done that to me, which I am actually shocked about because usually there's 4 or 5 of these sponges in my empties. I love the Real Technique sponges. They're some of my favorites. I have one facial razor in here. I started really dabbling in facial shaving not that long ago, actually. I also have a dermaplane that I got in gratis that I haven't even opened yet, so I should try that. But this is the one and only facial razor that I had. Because I dabbled in facial raising. I think I shaved my face like twice last year and then stopped. Again, went through some things. And then I have 2 brushes in here, which makes me super happy because usually I have a lot more brushes in my empties or my, you know, garbage than 2. So I'm really super happy about that. These are both Morphe brushes. This one just got so pokey, I didn't want to use it anymore. It's an eye blending brush, so you don't want pokey brushes on your eyes. And this one, is actually devastating for me. This is my favorite bronzing brush, hands down. But every time I use it anymore, it just sheds. It just sheds, and then I've got white hair all over me. I wear black a lot, in case you haven't noticed. I have white hair all over my face, all over my shirt, all over everything. So it was pretty devastating for me. I think that Morphe brushes are really good and really inexpensive, but I think that they have a shelf life on them that is far less than so many other brushes, especially when you're a person like me and you wash your brushes after every single use. So those had to go. I have 2 makeup brush cleansers in here. This one is the Cinema Secrets Makeup Brush Cleaner Quick Dry Formula. It's liquid. It is what I use for my brushes in between major washes after every single use. I've used it for years. I've talked about it for years. It's not something that I want to spend a whole lot of time on because you guys are probably sick of hearing me try it, but this is something that I picked up, I think late last year, and tried for the first time this year, and this is their all natural brush soap. Now, I don't use this on my brushes. I use it on my sponges, and I think that this is far superior than the Beauty Blender sponge soap that I used to use. It's a lot bigger. You get a lot more product for roughly the same price. I think this is $23 and the Beauty Blender soap is $20 flat, and it comes in such a small package. And I think that this is the reason why my sponges haven't ripped and torn as much as they had in the past, and why I feel like they're getting a lot cleaner than the Beauty Blender soap could ever. So really love this stuff. Will repurchase it, continue to repurchase it. I have one that'll be in an empty very soon this year, and I already have purchased a backup to that. I have 1 container of Kiss lashes. These are the press-on ones, the ones that stick. Love those lashes. I have several more sets, and then I have a thing of cotton balls in here that I put in here because these are like beauty centric things, but beauty adjacent, I guess, things. I use them for multiple different things from a beauty perspective, but I also use them to take nail polish off my toes and my fingers and whatnot. So put those in here. And from a other no category, we had $112.48 worth of product. There's a lot in terms of skincare that I have, which is exciting because that means in spite of everything, I was still doing what I needed to with my skincare. Although my best friend Sasha would tell you otherwise, because there are some days I forget to wash my face. So she would tell you otherwise. So I have everything in my skincare section sectioned out into like serums and things of that nature, just regular moisturizers, toners, and then cleansers. And I only have 2 moisturizers on here. Now, I think it can be argued that there is at least one of the like skincare serum like things that was also used as a moisturizer in my day, but it was a nighttime moisturizer. These ones I used as daytime moisturizers, and that one was also like a collagen cream, so I put it in with the serums and things that had the betterment things in them for your face. Anyways, I only have 2. I have a Clinique 100 Hour. This lasted me forever. I think that this guy here, which is a moisturizer that cost $47 for this size, I think is probably worth $47. This took me so long to get through because it's kind of a watery consistency, and I have a bunch of them down here. So it looks like this full size, and it is kind of a watery consistency, and you just like, I would put my finger into the jar and pull my finger out. That what was on my finger was enough for my face, and I really do feel like it kept my face moisturized in the time that I was using it. I feel like it took me 8 months to get through this moisturizer using it in that fashion. Just literally stuck in my finger, and whatever was on my finger was totally enough. If I used more than that in a day, it would have been at night. But if I used any more than that, before putting on my makeup, sometimes it would not dry down in time to not make my makeup feel or look a little odd on my face. But if I used it in that way, it always dried down enough. It looked perfect underneath my makeup, and I never had a problem with it, and it was amazing. I really did feel like my skin stayed hydrated the whole time I was using this product. And then I also use this mini proteiny peptide cream. This guy here is a $24 mini, and I don't really understand. Yes, there was a ton of product in this little tiny mini. It's not one of those minis that, you know, has the like little divot in the bottom that you're not getting all the product that can fit in here. It was really good. I love Drunk Elephant products, especially when they're like married together and working on multiple different things together. This was really nice. I enjoyed it, but I really liked the Clinique better. I liked the feel of this one better because it felt more like a lotion, but I feel like the Clinique one did a lot more for my skin than this one did. So that's all I had for moisturizers. For toners, I just had the one. I take these bottles when I get them into my collection and I empty them into my big bottle. And as you guys can see, this sits in here is what was left out of this bottle mixed with another one that was left over in here. But once I dump these into this bottle, they're considered an empty in my mind because I'm using it as a refill in that way. I love Clinique clarifying lotions, but I like them. I like the step 2, not the step 3. This one was given to me by a friend, my friend Angela. I think she gave it to me for Christmas last year. And I definitely am getting my use out of it for sure. Got my use out of it for sure. So that was the only clarifying. That's the only toner that I had in here. And that one, that size is $22, but it does go up in size up to this size that is a pump action top. So you just put, you know, your hand, your reusable whatever on top and pump it into your pad. For cleansers, I had several. So I had one bag of makeup cleansing wipes. This was a bag that was left out of a gift basket that I got from a friend of mine that had like 4 different Betsy Johnson makeup wipe bags in it, and I think probably from TJ Maxx or Marshalls or something like that. And so this one was the last of those 4 that needed used up. I used it up really, really early on in the year. I do not use these on my face. I use them to wipe makeup off my hands or on my arms. But what I realized in doing that is that, I don't know if you guys know if you were around, but at the beginning of the year, like my hands were so broken out, so just dry and cracked and bleeding, and I knew from the foaming hand soaps that it wasn't my soap, and I couldn't figure out what it was. I think it was these. So precisely the reason why I don't use these on my face as well, but use that up for sure. I used up an Ulta Beauty cleansing balm, which I absolutely hated. I hated this thing. It was so oily and gross, and it leaked everywhere, all over the place. Anytime it was turned just right, like all the oil would seep out of it. It was the worst. It made my face feel disgusting. I hated every second of using this. I would take it in the shower with me and use it. I use a balm as my first cleanse. This was not it. This was awful. I hated this. So was really happy to have that one gone. And then I also had 2 other balm cleansers. I had the Clean It Zero in just a travel size, which was a really nice travel size. It lasted a long time for it just being such a little tiny guy. But even then, these Clean It Zero ones are so affordable, so good, and you can get them in giant sizes too. I have a couple in the giant sizes. This is only $9 and it lasted forever for me. So really love the Clean It Zero balms. And if I'm not using this one, that would be the one that I would want to get. The one that is typically my holy grail is the Clinique Take the Day Off balm. I love this stuff. I used to sell it like mad because I truly believe in the product. I know that it works. I have sold it to so many people because it It takes off all the makeup on your face, doesn't bother my eyes, takes off even like waterproof makeup. I remember my claim to fame one day was selling like 4 bottles of it or 4 tubs of it to some lady that was in theater because she came in. I talked to her about it. She wanted something to take her theater makeup off. So I talked her into this and she bought it. And then she came back the next day and bought 4 more of the tubs because it worked so well for her. It's just such a great makeup remover. I love it, but it is rather spendy. So I would say you can get the Clean It Zero in the same size as this, maybe even bigger than this. I can't remember how big exactly the Clean It Zero goes. This does have a 1 size bigger size, but this is $44 and the Clean It Zero is easily half that price. So, and I like the Clean It Zero just as well. The other cleansers that I had was this Kylie foaming face wash. I did not necessarily hate this. I thought that it stunk though. I did not like it. And I felt like the foaming action of it maybe pulled too much natural oils out of my face. And my face got that like squeaky clean to it and like really dry feeling to it. So I didn't love this. Would probably not purchase it again. And then I had 2 full size and 1 like mini travel size Dermalogica Special Cleansing Gel. If you guys have been around for a while, you know that Dermalogica is my skincare of choice. Every single time I can use a Dermalogica product, I will. As a matter of fact, when my skincare stash is empty, I will probably only purchase Dermalogica products because I really like Dermalogica products. But honestly, there's so much other skincare items too. This year specifically, I fell in love with a couple of like serums that I really love from other brands, but Dermalogica is so good. So I would use the Take the Dye Off balm or whatever balm I was using first, and then this would be my second cleanse. And my face is always clean, never had a problem. This one was in my travel bag. This guy I didn't put a price on because it is such a little guy, but it lasted quite some time in my travel bags. The next thing I have and the last thing I have, I think, besides makeup, is going to be my serums and such. So the first one I have in here is my Caress Wild Rose Vitamin C Brightening Sleeping Facial. So this was a moisturizer of sorts, but it was a nighttime night cream. I really hated this product. I ended up using it for about a month, you know, because I like to give it a good go. And then I gave it to my daughter and she hated it. So then I took it back from her and started using it on my feet. And that's how I got the usage out of it. It was awful. I will never repurchase it. This one is the First Aid Beauty Ultra Repair Firming Collagen Cream. So this is also a night cream. It's a collagen night cream, so it's not just a regular moisturizer, which is why I put it into the serum section. I don't know, I might rethink that in the future, but I really liked this. I had a good time with this. This is a really heavy duty like jar too. You know, we panners, we like to hold on to jars because we think that we'll do something with them one day. I don't know that I'll hold on to this one, but it's a good, heavy, hefty jar. Feels real luxe. First Aid Beauty is really nice. It was a thick cream. I loved using it. It smells good. It smells so good. I don't know. It was a really nice cream. I really do feel like it did something for my skin when I was using it, for sure. I have the Drunk Elephant Bouncy Bright Facial Mask for correcting and clarifying your skin. Listen, I like Drunk Elephant, but I think that a lot of their products are maybe just too, I don't know what it is about them. Sometimes I feel like they do a lot. So like I'm currently have the C Firma Fresh Day Serum in my collection, using it as a day vitamin C cream or serum, and I like it a lot. But like this one, I don't feel like I noticed anything coming from this for my skin. So I don't know that I'd repurchase that. I use this Bliss Bright Idea Vitamin C Tripeptide. This one was what I was using after that one, but before the Drunk Elephant, so kind of in between. I liked the feel of this one, but I didn't feel like it did anything amazing for my skin. As a matter of fact, thinking about it now, I can't remember exactly how I felt about it. You know, you have those products that you either know you feel really good about or know that you hate, and those ones that are kind of middle of the road, you're like, meh, I don't need to repurchase it. That's kind of how I feel about this one. I think it was good, but I think that maybe it wasn't good. Maybe it was decent, but I think that the price point for it is kind of middle of the road. I think it was $30 for this, which is decent for a vitamin C serum that is this big specifically. This is 30 mil or 1 fluid ounce, so I think that that's pretty decent. But I also don't remember exactly having any kind of specific thoughts or opinions on it. Just kind of the same thing I feel about this Herbivore Emerald. Now, Ulta Beauty is carrying Herbivore now, and I don't remember having good sentiments about this. If I remember correctly, I thought it stunk. Yeah, I thought it stunk. I didn't like it at all. This is a hemp seed and adaptogens deep moisture glow oil. It smelled like I was slathering my face with vegetable oil. That's all I remember thinking about this guy, so I definitely wouldn't repurchase that. It Cosmetics Bye Bye Lines hyaluronic acid. I liked this. Actually, I had a good time with it, and I replaced it with this one that I absolutely hated. So I think that's why I remember how much I like this one. This one is a 1.5% hyaluronic acid, vitamin B5 peptide concentrated serum. It was beautiful. It was wonderful to use. It was really thin. I didn't feel like it was just sitting on top of my skin or felt heavy on my skin at all. It was a really nice serum. I liked it a lot. It felt good. Do I feel like it did anything? Maybe. I was using it at the same time as I was using the Clinique 100 Hour. My face felt so moisturized during that time frame. I think a lot of it came from the Clinique, but some of it could have come from that as well. Now, this one popped in after I got done with that one. That one I think I went through really super fast, if I remember correctly. This one took me 400 years to get through. It is so thick, and I guess bang for your buck, but it's a number 7, so it's not super expensive in the first place. This is the Hydroluminous. It's a 2% hyaluronic acid serum, and I hated it. I didn't hate what it was doing to my face because I don't remember it doing anything adverse, but I hated how thick it felt on my skin. So really heavy on my skin. This Mario Badescu Vitamin C Cream, I only have this guy marked as a $2 sample as well because I wasn't going to, figure out the math on what it costs, and Mario Badescu is so inexpensive in the first place. I did not like this vitamin C cream. I probably would not count on Mario Badescu for my vitamin C supplements. And then the last two skincare products that I have here are Peach and Lily, and I loved these. I saved them for last to talk about because I loved these. So the Peach and Lily Glass Skin Refining Serum and the Peach and Lily Power Cocktail Lactic Acid. I feel like my skin just ate these up. And I don't know exactly what it was doing other than just making it look real good. My skin looked amazing while I was using these two products. And I would use this one, and then I would put this one on, and then I would put a moisture on, and then I would go to bed. And when I woke up in the morning, I'd wash my face, and my skin just looks so good. And I will likely go back to these at some point in time because I think that they're just amazing. I remember looking at my skin every morning and thinking, wow, you're going backwards in age. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But it was something very similar to that. It was so good. I felt like my skin looked real good and felt good and felt healthy while I was using those things. Like, clearly lactic acid is something that I need in my skincare routine. Maybe I'll stop using, I feel like vitamin C I've used vitamin C enough, and it's gotten to where it's gonna get with my skin. Maybe stop using that, switch off to something else, and start using it again later on. My skincare total was $724.97. I think, a good portion of that was the Dermalogica Special Cleansing Gel. That shit is expensive. It is so expensive. And then all those serums, also pretty expensive. The one full-size moisturizer that I had in there, also pretty expensive, but really good product. So really happy to have all those. And then lastly, I have all these makeup empties, and you guys maybe saw a lot of them in my Plan to Pan recap because most of these were done through my panning progress and were on my Plan to Pan. So I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time going through these products because I feel like that would do a disservice to you. The one thing that I will make note of is that I did have a 40 or a 50 unit goal for my makeup empties. Last year I was able to hit 46, which was the most I had ever hit. And I just don't use makeup like some of my peers in this space out there do. And I also don't have a really old collection. Some of my call outs were being able to get through 2 foundations this year, and not just 2 foundations, but 2 high-end foundations. I have the Natasha Denona X Plus foundation, which was my holy grail, and the Dior Face and Body, which also was a holy grail for me for 2 very different perspectives, right? Those were amazing to me. I was so happy to get through those. I also got through 2 lipsticks this year, one being a mini, but one also being a full-size Clinique Almost lipstick. I got through so many things that I'm super proud of. As you guys can see by the picture, there's quite a few mascaras. I did have 11 mascaras. I am a person that likes to mix and match my mascaras and kind of layer them so that I get the perfect mascara thought process. Today I'm only using one mascara, and I mean, I don't think that my lashes look their best, but they look decent, I guess. So I did have 11 mascaras, 2 of which were FanFest by Benefit, which became a favorite of mine. I have the Bounce mascara by Benefit. Also hated that. Do not love that mascara. Flaked all over my face. Bad Gal Bang is another favorite for me from Benefit. I have the Benefit Whiplash, which is actually a lash serum, which was actually quite nice and really expensive, actually $52. I have stopped spending money on lash serums because they're just too expensive. I don't want to spend my dollars on lash serums, so I'm just trying not to pick at my lashes anymore and treat them well. And I know that I'm aging and they're going to become more and more sparse as we go. I will maybe invest in another lash serum at some point in time, but I think I've got some in my mascara drawers. I just need to get in there and try them. MAC dry shampoo is in here too. I don't know what MAC was thinking with that product. It's not really a lash dry shampoo. It's really not. And please clean your lashes. I used to use it on my bottom lashes because it had a really nice stiff applicator for it. And it was not as like bushy and didn't promise you any kind of like volume or anything like that. So the Bare Minerals Maximist mascara actually kind of shocked me. I didn't mind that one at all. The Pat McGrath, the little gold one, hated that one. Westman Atelier, the little pink one, also hated that one. Will never purchase those again. I have a Lancome primer, my favorite, and the Fenty Hella Thick. A Fenty Hella Thick I actually would repurchase in a heartbeat. I really liked that mascara a lot. I had 2 brow products. My everyday brow product is the Benefit 24-hour brow setter. I'm surprised there's only one in here, but then that goes to show you, you know, I mean, the first 3 months of the year, I wore makeup less than 30 times. So there's that. One 24-hour brow setter. It's what I wore every single day. And then the one Precisely My Brow. I remember finishing that off very, very quickly in the beginning of the year. I had 2 eye primers in here. One in the little tub was a NYX eye primer, the NYX Glitter Glue, because I had to put it in a different component because its component broke. And then the Ulta Beauty Matte Veil Eye Primer, which I love and will repurchase at some point. It's in a different packaging now, but that one is the one that I had in my collection. It's a wonderful primer. Excellent eye primer for $13. Like, you can't beat it. I had an eyeshadow stick in here, a little tiny miniature powder in here. Some things that I'm really super proud of also is the fact that I had a blush and a bronzer empty in here. Like, what? Who am I? So the blush empty was the Ofra Winter Rose. That was just the single blush pan, and I emptied that through Project Pan, but it took me 2 years to get to to the place that I could get to with that blush before I put it into Empties. And then I have the Makeup by Mario Sculpt Stick, which I will repurchase in a heartbeat, but it also took me 2 years to empty this guy. So you don't need 100 blushes and bronzers in your collection. You just don't. I had one shadow stick from LOC that came to me in like an Ipsy or something like that. I had 3 lip liners in here, 4 eyeliners in here, 2 of which were liquid liners and 2 were pencil liners. 3 lip glosses, which actually surprised me that it was that low. Like, I feel like it should have been more, because even in my most desolate times, I was wearing lip gloss, but that's all I have for my list. And going back to like the Rehab portion of my like trackers, that is accurate. And then 2 primers. So for makeup, I was able to empty $910.50 worth of product. That's not much. Like, I didn't even clear $1,000 worth of product in Empties, which is shameful in my humble opinion. Even though a lot of these products were really high-end products. Like, even with the primers, one was an Urban Decay, right? So that's super expensive. With my setting sprays, which I had 4 setting sprays, I don't think I mentioned, all 4 of them were high-end setting sprays. I had 2 Charlotte Tilbury and 2 Urban Decay, but they were all 4 travel size too. Just not using setting sprays as much as I had in the past. All of my mascaras were high-end. There wasn't one drugstore one in there, so every single one of them cost $25 or more. Like, it is crazy sauce to me that I ended with less than $1,000 in makeup empties. Overall, the price point of everything that I was able to empty this year in terms of makeup and beauty was just over $2,400. And last year it was almost $4,000. And the year before that, it was $3,500. And the year before that, it was $3,200. So like, this is by far the worst year that I've had in makeup empties in the 7 years that I've been on YouTube. 7 years? 8 years? What is this? 2026? This year will be 9 years. So 8 years that I've been on YouTube, this is by far the lowest that I've had in makeup empties. But it was a really rough year. So I'm going to show myself some grace, and I am going to be proud of the empties that I was able to complete in the year 2025. And that is it. That is all I have for you. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. And if you did, I would love to hear about it in the comment section. Even if you didn't, I'd love to hear about it in the comment section. Just be kind. We're all out here just living life, right, to the best of our ability. And I hope that you guys did enjoy the video, though. I hope that you loved it, or me, or, you know, want to join in the venture and see what I'm able to empty in 2026, because it's a very different year this year. And I hope that you'll want to subscribe before you go, because I'm a kick in the pants. I really am. I'm super fun to hang out with. My sister tells me when I tell everybody that it's not meaningful. That nobody believes me. They think that I'm telling myself that, or trying to convince myself that. So there's that. So I'm not going to tell you, but I can prove it to you, I promise. Did you keep every single one of your empty products? Did you keep all your garbage? Are you crazy like I am? If you are, I would love to see your video too. I did this way differently this year than I have in the past. Usually I just show you the picture. So I hope that you enjoyed it this way. Please let me know if you did. I know it's a long dang video, but I hope that you were here for it. I hope that you had a good time. And with that said, thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope that you and yours are well. I hope that you are all safe and healthy and getting along as best that you can. I hope that you're all loving each other, being kind humans, and living your best life. And until next time, bye.